Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Of course, it's Dan McDonald. I'm the Life Regenerator. I'm very thankful today for many, many things. For everything. I wanted to talk today about health. As you know, that's one of my favorite hobbies. I'm absolutely fascinated by the human organism, and also very passionate about helping human beings as much as possible to alleviate the suffering, really, pain, because we are not as aware as we could be, perhaps, about the laws of nature as a society and as a species, as a race, and there's various reasons for that. So we won't go into those right now. It's probably best to turn off the TV and educate yourself as much as possible through the knowledge that's available, which is really great because the information age is an excellent opportunity to expand yourself, your awareness, especially when it comes to health, because in my opinion at this time there's no greater gift than health itself. To be healthy is to have it all, because then the options are absolutely infinite. Sickness and the obstructions, wherever they take place within your experience, it's not all about the body. The body is the manifestation of unresolved karma, if you will. Really, karma is simply that you make a choice and then there is a repercussion to that choice. Doesn't necessarily seem like there's some arbitrary dude up in the sky who has a opinion on whether or not what you do, what choices you make. It's just that within the universe, one choice leads to a result, and within the different contexts, which is very important, there's no one size fits all. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just have one dude write one book with all the answers, and that'd be the right answer for everyone. What I like to do is learn from all the various people that are still here with us on Earth, and many, many that have left and had left their experiences behind. The encumbrances that have obstructed the flow of your divine energy, they accumulate within the body due to the nature of those choices that are made. What's interesting, though, is we have to ask ourselves, when we were kids, we didn't really get a choice. Our parents they were at a level of consciousness, and then we had Cocoa Puffs, government, cheese, and green beans, all cooked. Hardly ever any fresh fruits and vegetables, right? Probably most of you never really had parents that thought fresh fruits and vegetables was where it was at, because those are the mucusless foods, which leave behind the least amount of metabolic waste, and also they are, as well as that, the dissolvers. So our senses choose these different foods because we get programmed and habituated to them because our parents ate them and they tasted good, and then they gave them to us and they tasted them. We began to develop a taste for them as well, and neurological stimulation through the consumption of certain foods. So to track back and use intelligence, wisdom, knowledge, and experience of the laymen that share their information and experiences, because they got sick and searched for the truth. They might have spent many, many years, or if not their whole lifetime, seeking more truth regarding the subject of health, human health. And very rarely is it well understood at all, because the human organism is amazing in that it can keep on going. If you keep on voluminizing the blood, regardless of the deep down obstructions in the pituitary, pineal, thyroid, thymus, pancreas, kidneys, adrenals, gonads, the obstructions in those glands, if you will, you can voluminize the blood and keep on stimulating yourself for many, 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 many years and still not quite be operating at a very high level, because we think that there's a calorie thing sometimes. There's a level where you get where you have to have the right amount of calories and stuff like that. And some of my friends on YouTube talk about that kind of thing, but I'm not sure if we've taken it to the next level of awareness where we realize that actually the energy of life comes from the highly functioning glands. The more highly functioning your glands are, the less you need to eat in order to have energy. So if the glands are functioning optimally, then you've got a higher level of regeneration within the cells. Everyone's at a different level. There are super strong constitutions, then strong constitutions, then medium constitutions, and then weak constitutions. Most people fall somewhere between the vast majority of a medium type constitution. I have a medium type constitution. You can regenerate your constitution, but you have to remove the obstructions within those glands and organs and tissues which come from all the way in utero. If your parents did drugs while you were in utero, I got news for you. There's no blood-brain barrier or any of that junk. Her drugs got into your body, and so did your dad's, because his seed had those genetic expressions as well. So what we're trying to do is wake humanity up and say, stop having babies until you get your constitution back online, which is a great amount of work. That's just my personal opinion. If I were to ever have kids again, I would make sure that the woman was strong, constitutionally, detoxified and regenerated to the highest levels possible through the process of mucusless diet, which is, fruits and vegetables, and then healthy fats on the rebuilding phase, and then incremental, fasting, juice fasting, fruit fasting, water fasting, in a incremental and, intelligent manner. You don't just be 600 pounds or whatever, 250 pounds and big stomach and then just go on a water fast. I mean, you can do that and you might not die, but what you've got is so much accumulated debris that it's going to flood the organism way too fast, and you're going to have problems. It's going to not only be a living hell, but you're going to have so much metabolic waste in the bloodstream that it's just going to cause problems. That's why I know why Gabriel Cousens does the green juicing. I know why Robert Morse does the fruit fasting. I know why Lou Corona just says, just get started at 1 day of fasting at a time, then move it up to 2 days. You know what I mean? And do this incrementally and keep moving your way towards higher levels of health by detoxifying the body. Now, how do we do that? I'll take just a few minutes to share. Fruit juices dissolve accumulations, so you don't really want to be 250 pounds or more, or obese, or have these chronic conditions and go straight to a fruit diet either. Because although the fruit does help to flush and cleanse, it can also dissolve and remove the metabolic waste too rapidly. So that's why I have chosen a program between all three of my main living mentors. I've never really worked with Gabriel Cousens, but I've worked with Lou Corona, I've worked with Robert Morris, I've spent time with Robert and Lou. I've spent a little bit of time with Gabriel, and I've been down to his retreats, and Krista and I did a 10-day juice fast, and that was pretty good. So my program is more in the middle of all of it, because you got to decide from your own inner intuition what's going to work. I like a good balance, though, of fruits and the green juices as I'm, moving through this process of mine, which goes back to childhood traumas are coming up big time. I'm working with a master body worker right now who understands the process of helping me to deal with these buried traumas, okay? And they're slowly starting to come up because I do not remember what happened to me in my childhood. I blocked out my whole childhood due to trauma, and it's affecting my ability to be the best that I can be. So I consciously forgive those who may have hurt me, but now I think that due to the nature of the fact that I was so young, I wasn't able to handle it, so I had to bury it away in the unconscious. So I'm working on that now with a lot of courage, willing to go through whatever it takes. I forgive all those who have hurt me in the past, and I forgive myself for the people who I may have hurt. So I'm working on body work right now. I had a few digressions in the detox diet. I had a lot of stress. I've got overtaxed. That's one of the things I'm going to recommend, is simplify your life. You can't do it all. You can't save the world, and you got to be intelligent. And sometimes I wasn't being intelligent. I was overstretching myself, and then I was having adrenal issues. And so what I'm doing is rebuilding myself through the process of juicing, fruits, body work, a lot more rest, regeneration. I go to the Korean spa and soak in the hot tub and do the hot and cold. I go to hot springs. Many of you may wonder, when is enough enough? Aren't you done, Dan? You've been raw for 11 years. But very few people understand how deeply buried these metabolic wastes go. How the glands become calcified, and then each and every individual is dealing with a different set of glandular weaknesses, which keeps us from ever coming to that point of the most high holy health, the total regeneration, the complete healing. So the nervous system is off, and parasympathetic is off over here, and another person, it's the sympathetic nervous system. And so we're just trying to, sometimes you feel good and sometimes you don't. Well, there should be a way to feel at peace and healthy at all times and all circumstances, right? From an inner effulgence of the strong glands. So again, 12 minutes isn't really enough to get into it, but I just wanted to touch base, give some ideas about how deep this really goes, so that perhaps you could be imbued with some courage. You're not nuts. Everyone's going to think you're nuts. I mean, I can't imagine there aren't a lot of people that don't think I'm nuts. But I've already done the athletic phase. I already ate tons of calories and ran and jumped and hiked and biked. And you know what? It still never got down. I mean, I rode my bike across the country on fruits and vegetables, but it still never got down to the deepest levels of regeneration and healing. So I am more committed than ever, and this is only for a certain group of people. Some people are going to think I'm nuts. Some people are going to think I'm out of balance. There's a lot of rumors going around. That's fine. I'm Dan McDonald. I know myself. I live with myself every day. I've had some challenges, but my feet are on the ground as far as I can tell. I seem lucid. I have a plan, a dream, a vision, a goal. Of course, they're going to tell you, oh, you can't become an Olympic swimmer. They're always going to tell you can't do it. Why? Because they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it now. They're not going to do it ever, because they're not dreamers. They're not visionaries. And they just want to get by with mediocrity. Well, I don't roll that way. I see the infinite potential inside of myself. And through the path of health, which for me is the path of enlightenment. Everyone's got a different path. Of all the teachers I've ever had, and all the people that I've seen that have done this to reach the highest levels of healing and regeneration, not a single one of them had the same path. Not one single one of them, but they all ended up back in that same place, which is a very statistical rarity. Because it's just easier just to eat cheeseburgers and stimulating foods and eat a whole bunch of food and just kind of keep going at the mediocrity, chasing the carrot at the end of the stick, when the true treasure is already, it's inside of you, you know. So instead of going out there, going to get the car, going to get the house, going to get the money, going to get the fame, going to get the wife with the big boobs and all that stuff, you're turning it around and you're going inward, and you're looking for this treasure that's a vibration of life. And it's the same thing in all of us. It's the same thing as the tree. Listen to the birds. The noise that makes the birds sing is the same song that resonates within your heart. And there is a pathway of the regeneration which allows, basically, to sum this whole video up, we're trying to clear the channels of energy which resonate as energetic pathways which is referred to as the nadis, 72,000 nadis, points of energetic transference, invisible electrical wires, which then step down to grosser levels as nerves, lymphatic system, and blood flow. So we've got the glandular system, which resonates in the Ayurvedic and Chinese tradition, not so much in the West, but into the chakra system. So each gland resonates as a chakra, but it's actually the chakra which illuminates the gland. So we want to work on ourselves energetically through meditation, proper thinking, proper languaging. We're programming ourselves at all times. When we say we can't, we can't. When we program ourselves with can't, we cannot. When we program ourselves with can, then we will. Because we can and we will, because we are the infinite potential. 16 minutes, huh? I just can't seem to fit in. I didn't even get to touch on this subject whatsoever, so it's a bit frustrating. Many of you will watch longer videos. Many of you don't have the time, and I respect that. So continue to learn, because Dan McDonald can get about this much knowledge into a 16-minute video, but I'm going to continue to do this thing. Regardless of who thinks how crazy I am, I'm following my intuition. I'm digging deep. I'm dealing with the childhood stuff. I'm regenerating a pituitary gland from too much bread and too many drugs. And over the course of the next however long it takes, systematically, intelligently, cleansing my body by dissolving the accumulations, breaking it down so that I can get my glands, organs, and tissues all operating at the most high levels. I hope you understand. If you don't, that's cool. Do your thing. But I'm going for it. The total regeneration. It's the love of my life. It's the dream I've had since the first day I ever heard about it. And so I will fast and I will pray until the Lord of the house returns. Till my true self takes over and lives in me fully. Can you dig it? Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, my friend. And peace be with you. I will continue to do my best to just share this knowledge with you because I love it. Thank you. It helps me a lot. Have a great day.